The message for today is just stop. Just stop. A few years ago, I was driving home on a Sunday afternoon and I got into the office park that's immediately outside of our neighborhood. And in this office park, there's several intersections you come to that are four-way stops. And on a Sunday afternoon, there's really no one in the office park. So those stop signs on a Sunday afternoon feel more like a suggestion and not necessarily a law that you have to follow. And so I was getting close to the intersection and began to slow down. And I think all of us do this from time to time where we start to slow down. We don't come to a complete stop, but then we release the brake and kind of roll for just a second and then accelerate through the intersection. Well, on this particular day, I started to brake. I let go of the brake pretty early. I was still going at a pretty good pace as I went through the intersection. Again, nobody around, nobody in sight, except for as I was going through the intersection, I glance over my shoulder and I see a police officer sitting in one of the vacant parking lots. And he was monitoring, looking at the very intersection that I just drove through. So I was like, this is not going to end well. And sure enough, a few seconds later, blue lights in my rear view. He pulls me over and he says, "Hey, do you know why I pulled you over today?" And I said, "Yeah, it's probably because I ran the stop sign back there." And he said, "Yeah, you didn't come to a complete stop." And I thought, well, that's a really gracious way of putting it. And he said, "Well, do you have a reason? Are you in some sort of hurry?" And the reality was, I was coming home to get my kids, take them to a birthday party. And I think in that moment, you're supposed to give some sort of excuse, some sort of reason, but I just didn't. I just told him, I said, "No, I really don't have an excuse." And I ended up getting a ticket, went on with my day, and he went on with his. But for you and me today, that's the word, just stop. As we're talking about dependence this week, and this part of Jesus' prayer where he says, "Give us today our daily bread," he's really inviting us and modeling for us, acknowledging our need for God, acknowledging our dependence on him. And in order to do that, and in order to do that well, and in order to do that on a consistent basis, there are some things in our lives where we need to just stop. There are things in our lives where we are running on overdrive and doing it all on our own and trying to get it all done. And there's just moments in our lives where we need to just stop. We got to do that first before we can truly lean on and depend on God. Proverbs 3:5-6 says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's what we do so often. We lean on our own understanding and our own strength to get things done. And who can blame us, right? There's a lot to do in life. There's a lot that each of us have to manage. And so our default oftentimes is just to get stuff done and to keep churning things out, keep knocking out the to-do list, making sure we stay on top of all of life. But oftentimes we can do that to our own detriment. And we can do that in a way that causes us to miss out on God in our lives. And we miss out on the life that he has for us to experience. And so in those areas, we need to just stop. So today, for you, where might you need to just stop? Where might you be running in your own strength? And you're getting it done, you're managing well, and it's going good, but what might be even better is to just stop and declare your dependence. Allow God's strength. Allow his help to come into that area. Good news is he doesn't leave us on our own to figure this out. He doesn't wait for us to get our act together. He's not shaming us when we declare our dependence on him. But when we pause, we just stop. He meets us right there with his gracious, patient presence. So today, just stop. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding in all your ways. Even the ways where you feel like you've got it all together, in all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your paths. We'll see you tomorrow.